And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together, and said unto them, These are the words which the Lord hath commanded, that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be unto you a holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord's. Whoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day. And Moses spake unto all the children of the congregation of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto the Lord, which whoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it, an offering of the Lord, gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen, goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins and shittim wood, and oil for the light, and spices for anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, and onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate. And every wise-hearted among you shall come and make all that the Lord hath commanded: the tabernacle, his tent and his covering, his taches, his boards, his bars, his pillars, and his sockets, the ark and the staves thereof, which the mercy seat, and the veil of the covering, the table and his staves, and all his vessels, and the shewbread, the candlestick also for the light, and his furniture, and his lamps with the oil for the light, and the incense altar, and his staves, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging at the door at the entering of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offerings, with his brazen grate, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars and their sockets, and the hanging for the door of the court, the pins of the tabernacle, and the pins of the court and their cords, the cloth of the service to do service in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons, to minister in the priest's office. And all the congregation of the children of Israel departed from the presence of Moses, and they came, every one whose heart stirred him up, and every one who his spirit made willing, and they brought the Lord's offerings to the work of the tabernacle of the congregation, and for all of his service, and for the holy garments. And they came, both men and women, and as many as were willing-hearted, and brought bracelets and earrings, and rings and tablets, all jewels of gold, and every man that offered an offering of gold unto the Lord. And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and red skins of rams, and badger skins, and brought them. And every one that did offer an offering of silver and brass brought the Lord's offering, and every man with whom was found shittim wood for any work of service brought it. And all the women that were wise-hearted did spin with their hands, and brought that which they had spun, both of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred them up in wisdom spun goat's hair. And the rulers brought onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod and for the breastplate, and spice and oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. The children of Israel brought a willing offering unto the Lord, every man and woman whose heart made them willing to bring all manner of work which the Lord had commanded to be made by the hand of Moses. And Moses said unto the children of Israel, See, the Lord hath called by name Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, and the tribe of Judah. And he hath filled them with the Spirit of God in wisdom, in understanding, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, and to devise curious works in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in the cutting of stones to set them, and the carving of wood to make any manner of cunning work. And he hath put his heart that he may teach both he and Aholab, the son of Asamach, in the tribe of Dan. Them hath he filled with wisdom of heart to work all manner of work, of the engraver and the cunning workman, and the embroiderer, and the blue and the purple and the scarlet and the fine linen, and of the weaver, even of them that do any work, and of those that devise cunning work. Then wrought Bezaleel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whom the Lord put wisdom and understanding to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that the Lord had commanded. And Moses called Bezaleel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whose heart the Lord had put wisdom, even every one whose heart stirred him up to come on to the work to do it. And they received of Moses all the offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary, to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. And of the wise men that wrought all the work of the sanctuary came every man from his work which they made. And they spake unto Moses, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which the Lord commanded to make. And Moses gave commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman make any more work for the offering of the sanctuary, so that the people were restrained from bringing. For the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work, make it, and too much. And every wise-hearted man among them that wrought the work of the tabernacle made 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, with cherubims, and cunning work made he them. The length of one curtain was 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and curtains were all the one size. And he coupled the 5 curtains one onto another, and the other 5 curtains he coupled onto another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of the curtain from the selvage in the coupling. Likewise he made in the uttermost side of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops made he in one curtain, and 50 loops made he in the edge of the curtain which was in the coupling of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 taches of gold, and coupled the curtains one onto the other with the taches, so it became one tabernacle. And he made curtains of goat's hair for the tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains he made them. And the length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and 4 cubits was the breadth of one curtain. The 11 curtains were of one size. And he coupled 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops upon the uttermost edge of the curtain in the coupling, and 50 loops made he upon the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And he made 50 taches of brass to couple the tent together, that it may be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering of badger skins above that. And he made boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. And the length of the board was 10 cubits, and the breadth of the board was 1 cubit and a half. And the board with 2 tenons equally distant from one another, thus he make it for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side southward, and 40 sockets of silver he made under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for other 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, which is toward the north corner, he made 20 boards. And there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward he made 6 boards. And 2 boards he made for the corners of the tabernacle on 2 sides. And they were coupled beneath and coupled together at the head thereof to one ring. Thus he did to both of them, both the corners. And there were 8 boards, and their sockets were 16 sockets of silver, under every board 2 sockets. He made the bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 for the boards of the tabernacle for the sides westward. And he made the middle bar to shoot through the boards from the one end to the other, and he overlaid the boards with gold and made their rings of gold to be places for the bars and the overlaid bars with gold. And he made a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen. With cherubims he made it of cunning work. And he made thereunto 4 pillars of shittim wood and overlaid them with gold. Their hooks were of gold, and he cast them for 4 sockets of silver. And he made a hanging for the tabernacle door of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of needlework. And the 5 pillars of it with their hooks he overlaid their chapiters and their fillets with gold, but their 5 sockets were of brass.